Coming out last night, attorneys for Janel Grant have filed a new complaint in the case against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE. Alongside this, in the new update, the update has officially named Brock Lesnar amongst the allegations. Per the release, today's attorney for Janel Grant filed a new motion to amend the complaint in her ongoing accounts against former WWE CEO Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE to provide new evidence that McMahon treated Miss Grant as a commodity to abuse and offer to other men. The proposed amended complaint, which is attached to her motion, includes never-before-seen text and voice messages from McMahon and provides new details about how McMahon coerced Miss Grant into explicit acts through her employment at WWE.
Ann Callis adds that Miss Grant's amended complaint reveals new details that further demonstrate the abuse she suffered at the hands of Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, that pulls back the curtain on the dangerous workplace culture McMahon created at WWE. She says that Miss Grant looks forward to holding her abusers accountable in court, in a court of law.
The amended complaint has provided new evidence about the abuse carried out by McMahon, Laurinaitis, and WWE, including McMahon offering Miss Grant to WWE superstar Brock Lesnar for an explicit encounter during his formal negotiation of a new contract with WWE, and McMahon ordered Miss Grant to send Lesnar explicit content of herself.
McMahon sent a text message to Miss Grant where he fantasizes in graphic detail about watching as a group of men are surrounding her and leaving her physically wrecked, underscoring how he viewed her as a commodity to offer to others.
A text message from McMahon to Miss Grant where he makes it clear that only McMahon has the power to arrange these encounters for Miss Grant.
An occasion where McMahon video recorded Miss Grant while nude for Laurinaitis without Miss Grant's knowledge or consent.
Details about the sham investigation WWE proclaimed to conduct in 2022 after it became public that McMahon signed NDAs with multiple women in which investigators refused to interview Miss Grant.
And it also includes the transcript of a voice message from McMahon to Miss Grant where he attempts to coerce her into signing an NDA really effing fast so he doesn't get kicked out of his own effing company.
And that is what the press release that we were sent stipulates throughout that. Not in the release, though, alongside this, the new filing.
In like the amended
in
document.
The full amended document. Also names Michael Hayes and alleges that Grant was forced by McMahon to produce explicit content for Hayes and his crew. It also reveals the names of the WWE executives that were named in the original filing under pseudonyms. This includes Nick Khan, former WWE chairwoman Stephanie McMahon, and executives Brad Bloom and Brian Nurse. While none of these have been accused of abuse, Grant claims that they have enabled McMahon's conduct. More details for this case will be kept up to date on Cultaholic.com. This was just sent out in the last 24 hours, so it's all still very, very fresh, but more details can be found on Cultaholic.com. Looking though at WWE and some possible returns and AEW, we have had a current AEW star teasing a potential return to the company.
Yeah, so speaking with TMZ Sports, Saraya has expressed her love for WWE when asked about a potential return. She said, "Yeah, I love WWE. I appreciate everyone there. They made me. They gave me my career, and I'm just appreciative of that. One day, who knows? I love my time in AEW, though. My contract's up with AEW in September, so I don't know. Maybe I'll stay with them, maybe not. I don't know."
It's interesting that while under an AEW contract, she has even hinted that she could go back. She hasn't been used much. I don't want to say to the fullest extent of what Saraya should be used at, because I don't think it's been a great run for her.
No, but I don't think the creatives really had anything to sort of build something underneath her to push her forward, and that's sort of it's the other side of the coin with it, where if there was that creative there, would we be seeing more of her, or would we still be in this sort of flux phase where we seem to just see faces pass through
just go through
a lot more kind of loosely?
It'll be an interesting one to see how they treat her going forward now that she has publicly stated that, she would maybe return to the company.
I mean, it's probably just giving a nice fair answer to a question, if I'm being honest, but like it looks sort of like it's kind of, you got a badmouth WWE after you kind of had a huge run there, like, so and it didn't really end unamicably, did it?
No,
so
it didn't.
It's one of those where she's probably just given a very nice answer. But at the same time, I know there are a lot of WWE fans who would bloody love to have Paige back.
They would love to have Paige back.
Yeah.
The big thing, though, coming out of that quote for me was the fact that she's confirmed when her AEW contract is set to expire.
Yeah.
We know that she joined the company in the September of the year. I think it was 2021.
Quick, see who signed at the same time.
Who signed at the same time? When is she due to end? And it looks like it's September this year, as confirmed by her, saying my contract is up with AEW in September. So maybe who knows what will happen. I think she'll maybe stick around. I don't feasibly see her going back to WWE just yet.
Well, it all just depends, doesn't it? It depends if WWE sees anything. It depends how her relationship with AEW continues to either be the way it is or change, right?
I think it'll fully depend on if WWE will clear her to compete.
Yeah, well, that's sort of the big that's sort of the big one in it. So.
Oh, for sure. Well, looking forward, we've got more news about WWE Evolve. We covered this a few weeks back, where we had a report where they had brought back the name. They were planning on using this on for a new show.
It's going to be Evolve, but it's going to have the WWE logo slapped on it.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, in an update on that,
promotional madness.
I quite like the Evolve logo. I think it's really sweet.
It is becoming the WWE universe, isn't it?
Is,
sort of
yeah,
like Marvel.
yeah. Well, WWE is reportedly set to begin taping WWE Evolve in February, according to Corey Hayes of BodySlam.net. Just this past week, WWE did trademark the term Evolve, so it has been on the cusp of something happening.
Yeah, we'd been hearing about this potential, like, sort of rebranded show and everything coming up, so it's and
it looks like it's going to be starting taking place on February 7th from the WWE Performance Center. There is no word right now who's going to be involved in that, what it actually entails.
But I mean, arguably, even if you just take the branding, like, Evolve is one of the more important independent wrestling companies in the world, I'd argue, of that last boom period.
Yeah, for sure.
They were doing things that were like just sort of, they really stood out on their own. And I think that, if WWE allows that to kind of have its own flavor still, then great.
Do you think they will? Do you think they'll allow that to have its own,
I don't know if it's going to be quite
stamp?
as like indie-rific.
Yeah.
I think it might be a little bit safer in places, but ultimately, like, I think if you can keep as much as you can of that feeling, then that's the best option for me.
My concern is that is just going to be a rebranded NXT level up.
Yeah.
And if the Evolve name kind of lends itself to that.
But a big part of that is, creative. If the creative is strong, and if you allow the presentation to sort of not feel like a slapdashed accident at a Crayola factory, like that was, a weird
You weren't a fan of 2.0,
sidestep.
were you?
I was a fan of it, but visually it looked like the Kids' Choice Awards.
It did look very
was
Nickelodeon, and Kids' Choice Awards are quite correct. Hopefully Evolve keeps back the old branding if they do it. We've not seen any details on the logo. As I've said, we don't know who's going to be involved with it, who's producing it, whatnot, but it's WWE Evolve and they have trademarked it and it's coming back. Looking to last night's SmackDown though, obviously Royal Rumble is tonight. It was the big go home show and we saw someone make a return. Usually we see the returns at the Rumble, but we saw a return on last night's SmackDown. One Stephanie McMahon. She was sitting in the crowd.
Very unexpected to see Stephanie out and about, but basically after Chelsea Green retained her Women's United States Championship against Michin, McMahon was shown just sitting at ringside with WWE highlighting her upcoming ESPN Plus series, Stephanie's Places.
Yes.
Joining her at ringside was Nick Khan's son, but this I didn't know anything about Stephanie's Places, so I was
no, you didn't.
Are they giving Stephanie a travel show? And it looks like it is kind of a travel show.
It's a travel show, yeah.
She's going to travel around America to different places to talk to WWE stars and legends. So I'm like,
you know what? I think it's actually quite a fun concept. I mean, I don't know if I'll watch it, but it's a fun concept. It's like diners,
I like me some trash TV.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
I've eaten in a diners, drive-ins, and dives approved establishment. I'm all in on trash TV.
Maybe Stephanie's the next Guy Fieri. Maybe.
That's Mr. Ferry to you.
Ferry. We'll keep an eye and see how that show progresses. Sam, I think you should do like a graded for that show actually when it happens.
Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
bring graded back for Stephanie's
just for Stephanie's
But I'm gonna grade the places she goes. I'm not grading the show.
Exactly. That's what we want to see.
Maine? Who wants to go to Maine and then just trash a whole state?
Good lobster. Good lobster in Maine. Anyway,
fairness.
tonight is the Royal Rumble, as we said.
King.
And at 9 p.m. GMT, it's an early one. It's an early start.
We have been blessed.
We have been blessed. Tonight, 9 p.m., you can join Adam and Andrew right here on cultaholic.com, or youtube.com/cultaholic/live, I should say, for the Royal Rumble stream at 9 p.m. GMT. Keep an eye on all the social medias. We'll have all the usual content on there. We'll have what happened at. We'll have WTF moments. All that good stuff that comes with a premium live event. I can't can't wait. It's the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite. It's my favorite show of the year. In fact, we did a documentary about it last year, Sam. Go and watch it. Why is the Royal Rumble special? Look it up now. It's the Rumble. See you later.